Okay, people. Had to run to work this weekend, do a couple little things. Shades, check. Because it's a nice day out in sunny Southern California. Let's talk about a quick topic that gets brought up. Is am I in the middle of the frame? Yeah. The utility of practice swings. I like using I use them myself. I like using practice swings to work on my move. And I think everyone should use practice swings to work on their move. However, you need to actually learn how to practice swing correctly so that it does have some influence on your motor pattern. And your motor pattern is tied to the ball's location. And when you make an air swing, a practice swing with no ball, how good it would have been is non-falsifiable. But truthfully, it is falsifiable, because if Bill and Fred are on the first tee and Fred makes a swing, Bill will sometimes look at Fred and go, "Fred, if your practice swing is so beautiful, it's so rhythmic, and you're on balance, man. If you could hit the ball with your practice swing, you'd be scratched, dude." And he goes, "I know. I don't know why I can't do it. It's something about me." It's like, no. It's nothing about you. It's this is true for everyone. Is that you just made a practice swing that missed the ground by 6 inches, and the face was probably 20 degrees open. If you had even hit the ball, you would have pitched it into the cart next to the tee block. But you wouldn't have hit the ball because you would have swung 4 or 5 inches over the top of it, because you weren't swinging at anything, right? There's no constraints, and golf is nothing but constraints. The ball constrains you to deliver great numbers to produce a certain ball flight. So you find out really quickly whether your swing was any good or not, right? And so it's a little bit like, what would be a good analogy? A little bit like, okay, I'm gonna go take a painting class. All right, I'm gonna go down to Silver Lake Village, and they have a little free painting clinic class. I'm gonna sign up, and I go in there and I go, "I would really like to be a good painter, and I'm trying to figure it out." And the teacher goes, "Great, and let's paint a seascape, and here's your brush and your paint, your canvas. Let's paint me something," right? So I paint something. I go, "Whoa!" And the instructor walks up and goes, "Whoa, okay, that's, you know what? Good first start there, Nicky boy. Yeah, okay." I'm like, "Yeah, it doesn't look like the thing you have up there." They go, "No, but you just got to practice a little bit." I go, "Can I ask you a question?" And the teacher goes, "Yeah, sure." I go, look watch. Like, I'm not, like, if I just take the brush, like, look how rhythmic, like, my brush strokes themselves, like that. I mean, it seems like if I could paint with this kind of rhythm and flow, and right, it's just when I put paint on the brush and I touch the canvas where everything just goes pear-shaped. And she would look at me, or he would look at me and go, she would look at me like I had an eyeball in the middle of my forehead. She would, what? I go, "Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm a golfer, and this is the way we think about things, right?" I think if I make a swing in midair with no ball to basically, in a cold, harsh way, communicate the realities of my mediocrity at impact. If I don't have a ball there, I'm under the mistaken assumption that I just made a golf swing like Jack Nicklaus. She goes, okay, yeah, no, that's not the way the real world works. It's how you move the paint onto the canvas to create the picture that actually matters. Okay, all right. Well, it's a little more complicated than I thought. Yeah, and golf's that way too. So now, does that mean that practice swings? Because I started the video saying practice swings can be useful. They can be useful, but you can't do it that way. You can't do it the way that Bill or Fred does it, what you have to do is you have something that tells you whether the swing was even remotely successful, right? And it's not going to be as good as a real ball. It's not going to be as good of a diagnosis tool as the real ball, or as good of a training tool. It's not going to be as good as a foam ball, where you're actually, hitting at something that resembles a real golf ball. But if you put a tee in the ground, right? Maybe stick the top of the tee a quarter inch out of the grass, and you try to clip the tee out of the grass. At least okay, the depth of the radius, my low point, you can see where the low point of your swing is. Can you hit the tee and then brush the grass after the tee? Like, it tells you a lot, right? So that's a pretty good simulation. And then it doesn't tell you whether the face angle was wide open, which it might be. Probably, based on the way most of us make practice swings, you probably have to feel like you rotated the face a little early in your downswing to simulate something close to a square face at impact. But as you get better at doing that, like, you'd get better at making practice swings that are more useful. So you can learn to make a practice swing that is more reflective of an actual swing. So in that sense, if you learn to do a practice swing more correctly, then it's going to help you get better, especially if you know kind of what you're working on. Like, I got to move my pivot this way, and my pelvis this way, and my transition needs to do this. And can I do all that and clip the tee out of the grass? Can I at least do that? Because if you can't clip the tee out of the grass, if you can't clip a low tee out of the grass, there's almost no point to putting a golf ball there, right? Because it's going to be hideous. So see if you can do that. Spend a lot of time doing that and go, well, I can do that pretty well. Let me put a ball on the tee and try to clip the tee out from under the ball. Let me try that. Step 2, step 3, step 4. Kind of work into the real world scenario of actually hitting a golf shot. And that's a good way to get better. You don't have to hit 300 balls. You could literally make 100 good practice swings and hit 100 balls and arguably get more done, because there is a little more freedom when there's no ball there to try something new. And so you can try something that feels kind of weird. And it's like, can I even do it with the tee in the ground? It's like, yeah, I can. Let me try it with the ball. So it's a good tool, but don't do it like Bill, don't do it like Fred, and don't paint like me. And then you'll be on your way. Okay, people, we will see you later with more meaningless information that's not going to make you any better. Bye-bye.